You're listening to the Hope Not Nope podcast
with Doc Dylan
and Brandy.
We empower high performers with a 3-part strategy of hope,
Self-agency, goals, and proven frameworks,
so that you can reach your potential
and the highest quality of life. How's it going? I wanted... Dylan's good. I hope you're good too. I want to thank y'all for listening. I can't express enough how grateful we are to be here and to be able to be hosting this podcast for the past few years. But that, like, literally the podcast wouldn't exist without people listening to it, obviously. And it is such a joy for us. And so really just want to thank you for listening. And if this is your first time here, welcome. If this is not your first time here, I really hope that you're subscribed to us, you're following us on the different podcast platforms that we release. And if you'd be willing to share this episode or share one of your favorite episodes with someone else in your life, we'd really appreciate it because it helps this grow even more.
Is France still in lead? France.
Oh, France. I was like, who's France? I don't know. I haven't checked the analytics recently, but I should. All right, let's dive into our question. Our question this week is from a listener named Justin. And he says, prior to a game, I feel nauseous and like I'm about to blow chunks. Oh, no. Is there a way to change this? Sorry for the graphic question, y'all. Blow chunks.
I remember when I was working in hockey, we had a right wing who was a phenomenal player. Blew chunks before every game.
It's like the Josh Allen.
Just get out there, blow chunks in the trash can, good to go. Hey, and for some people that works.
Yeah.
So some people they get it all out, it's good to go, and go. And then he used to say too, he's like, well, I eat fish before every game. I got to stop eating the fish.
Jeez.
Like, it's not the fish.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if I'd want to eat fish before a game though.
And if it is, stop eating it.
Yeah.
Like it's that simple. But there are a lot of strategies that we can use to start turning the butterflies and the nauseous feeling more into something positive, something that gets you excited. And the strategy for that is called arousal reappraisal. And it's interesting because this has been studied in athletes. It's been studied in public speakers, in people getting ready to do like karaoke, of that feeling of like, I'm about to puke before I get up there, and using this strategy to look at, it happens because there's an arousal of the nervous system, and it's trying to perceive, is this threat or is this safety? And then it's starting to appraise that and evaluate and make the decision of, is my output excitement or is my output anxiousness or apprehension or just overall fear or doubt of the situation. So when we look at that, we can reappraise it, because physiologically, whether it's excitement or whether it's something more in the camp of anxiety, the physiological changes that happen in the body are very similar to each other. So for example, I used to do this in talks all the time of putting up a picture of somebody. And it looks like the person has tissues and they're crying and there's no other context to it. And I'm like, what happened? And the people in the audience would go, she just got fired. She lost somebody. Like, it always went to like the bad, right? And then I would say, at the start of the meeting, her colleague shared a hysterical joke. She'd never heard this one before. She's crying in laughter. How do you know? Well, the output was the same. And when there's context added to it, we then change the interpretation of it. Well, the same thing happens when we're excited or when we're feeling fear or anxiousness. Heart rate increases, blood pressure increases, the system's going more into a sympathetic response. It's just how we view it changes. It tends to be when we are excited, we know the source of the excitement. When we are anxious, we don't necessarily know the why, which then creates a cascade where we get more fearful or more anxious in the situation. So we can look at this moment of whether it's a game. Was a question for a game? It was in the locker room.
Like, yeah, I have every time before a game, I get nauseous.
I get nauseous for the game. Yeah. So in the locker room, so one, reappraise it. and really reflect and say, am I nauseous because I'm not prepared for this game? Well, then that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get prepared. Like, you want to get rid of doubts? Get prepared. You want to get rid of fear? Be prepared. Are you owning your position? Did you watch film? Did you do all the things that are going to make you be successful? Because now when you're going through the reappraisal process, you go, wait a minute, this moment's not too big for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in this moment because I've prepped to be in this moment. Like, perfect. If
Mm-hmm.
that's not the case, yeah, the nauseousness is going to stay there.
Yeah.
So one, make sure you're prepping. But two, if you have prepped, you've done all the work and you're still getting that feeling, the simple strategy is using self-talk to change the brain's thought of what the output is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I feel nauseous, but I feel nauseous because I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel worried. There's so many people out there. Oh, I'm so excited to go show my talents off in front of all these people.
Mm-hmm.
But looking to positively change it by using self-talk. And again, that is arousal reappraisal. And it's something that's been studied in the performance world and has been shown to be effective in all those different things we talked about. Not
Yeah.
just in athletes, but in karaoke and public speaking and
Mm-hmm.
other domains, that it becomes really helpful to just change the association of that output to something more positive, such as excitement instead of fear or anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think that there's a different tip or perspective that you would provide if it's they're not nervous about the game itself, they're nervous about what the outcome of the game is.
Mm.
Almost like I think of someone who's about to present in a meeting
Hmm.
and they're confident with what they've prepared, but they don't know how it's going to be received. And like they're nervous about the outcome of that. Do you think that that's similar? Or do you think that's more of like fear of letting people down or fear of rejection or things like that?
I think it's more of that and then rooting your identity in the outcome
Mm,
instead of in the process. We talked about it on an episode before of the quote unquote control freak.
yeah.
It's not you're not able to control the outcome. You are able to control your actions and have the capacity of responsibility for whatever way the outcome goes, given that you've put in the appropriate amount of work and effort
Mm-hmm.
for that outcome to be achieved, or if it's a different outcome, that you're still in control of your actions to that.
Mm-hmm.
I do think there's a fear of failure from how much weight is put onto this potential thing that people may carry into a game or into a meeting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think of there's a lot of professional athletes out there that in a post-game interview, they're asked a question. Like I think of like Sam Darnold is
Mm.
asked this question of like, I miss football season. But he asked he's being asked the question of like, but what is this moment like for you? Like you just beat your old team and now you're going to the Super Bowl. Aren't you excited to like prove these people wrong and like all this stuff? Almost like trying to create this narrative. And
Yeah.
he basically was like, I'm just playing for today. Like he was almost like stoic about it, but I think it's because he didn't allow the moment to get too big and his emotions to go all over the place about it, but he
Yeah.
stayed almost like neutral. And I think when someone's very anxious or excited going into something, their emotions can get like super super high or super super low, and having more of that like neutral posture can be very helpful.
Yeah. And I'm going to turn it into scripture just a little bit
Mm,
here because a lot of these things, like Sam Darnold face, it's temptation.
mhm,
And I heard this quote that God knows your sin but calls you by name. The enemy knows your name but calls you by sin. And when we look when Jesus was in the desert and being tempted, the thing that was bringing him to the temptations, like ultimately he didn't give in to them,
mhm,
but it was the challenge of his identity. And a lot of people focus their identity being on the outcome.
mhm,
And if your identity is focused on the outcome, then there's a lot of weight on that outcome. And now your self agency starts to change based on that outcome. So now there's more weight on it. There's more anxiousness.
mhm.
There's more of this output of fear or doubt because of how much is riding on it versus knowing down in your core who you are.
Yeah.
And that this one thing doesn't shake the truth of, for us as Christians, of what your Christian identity is.
Right.
Hey, it's great if like you're a Super Bowl champ and you have this incredible story like Sam Darnold has, but at the end of the day, he knows who Sam Darnold is because
Hmm.
he's been through the fire. He's been through the critics. He's been through everybody writing him off. He had to learn that, hey, that noise out there doesn't impact who I am
Hmm.
as a person. And me winning the Super Bowl or me not getting to a Super Bowl, that narrative, you guys can make that be whatever you want it to be.
Hmm.
I know the narrative for me and my identity. So,
Which I find is really admirable.
mhm.
I think other people can look at it almost with this well, you just must not care that much.
Yeah.
Or like, how can you call yourself a competitor if like that's how you're responding? And I say like, shut up to those people for lack of a better word, because it's
Yeah.
like every person's on a different journey. But I don't think it takes, I mean, he literally just won the Super Bowl. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think it takes away from his competitiveness or his art of sport or anything like that. It's just like different people have different ways in which they go about things.
Yeah. 100%. And I want to touch on that a little bit of, I don't know, this idea of stoicism. But I'm going to change that a little bit into just don't make a moment bigger than what it is.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a strategy in performance that we use. It's a strategy that I use for myself. And I want to be careful on how it's delivered. And Brandy will help me with this because you almost want to downplay the moment to stay steady, but then you don't want the moment to get too big when it actually happens.
Hmm.
So when I'm talking in front of hundreds of people,
Hmm.
I don't go on the stage and go, I'm delivering this message to 600 people right now.
Hmm.
I go up there and I go, my goal is that this lands for one person out in the audience. And if that can land for that one person, I did my job.
Hmm.
Hey, if it gets to more, like, sweet, like,
Awesome.
awesome. But if I keep the focus on that one person, all of a sudden the moment doesn't become as big.
Hmm.
And then when I get out there, and if you start getting a little nervous or stuff like that, you look at that one person and remind yourself as you're speaking that, hey, I'm just speaking to this one person.
Hmm.
Hey, I'm speaking to this one person. All of a sudden, the ones add up, but it doesn't make the moment too big for
Yeah.
yourself.
My youth minister would say, look for the people with kind eyes in the audience, because then it's almost like the rest of the audience blurs out around those like few people with like the kind eyes that are watching.
Yeah,
And yeah, like you said, like hundreds of people, thousands of people in the audience, like just see those few, and God will make it reach the rest, you know?
yeah, and that's one example. And obviously, Chiefs fan, love Chris Jones,
Hmm.
but he has said in so many different interviews when playing a game to the level that he plays it, on the stage that he plays it with, the criticism that these individuals get, the way that the media almost tries to dehumanize them, all of these things. Chris Jones just says, don't get too high and don't get too low
Hmm.
in any moment. Like
Yeah.
the reality is that like for him, it's like this is a game
Yeah.
and it's going to spin so many different ways. The seasons are going to go in so many different ways. The most that you can do is be in control of your behavior
Hmm.
and your actions. But don't get too high and don't get too low. So don't go into a moment thinking that it's too big for you. Also, don't downplay it where it's too small. The
Hmm.
goal is to have a range of steadiness that you're able to operate in because basically what it's doing is it's telling your nervous system that it's you have psychological safety to operate and perform versus being in a threat situation. And the more evidence that you can give that by being disciplined and not letting it get away from you can help with that. So, Justin, when you're in the locker room and you're getting your gear on, go through this rehearsal, you start to feel that nauseousness like you're going to hurl chunks. I think there's a couple options. One, go hurl them, get over it, get out and
Yeah.
play like Josh Allen does.
Yeah.
The other one,
Maybe
if
add some mouthwash in there.
that's some mouthwash in there. The other one is if you want to start to change that, is you have to change your self-talk that's happening with that, right? Because we know that input changes output. The output of nauseousness is already happening. You're not just going to change the output. You have to change the input to change the output. So you're starting to feel nauseous. Well, that's telling you that the moment's starting to feel too big.
Hmm.
Maybe not consciously, but your nervous system is feeling that. So now you have to start using some positive self-talk, reframing it to excitement,
Hmm.
reframing it to say, hey, I'm strong, I'm capable, I'm prepared. I'm strong, I'm capable, I'm prepared. This moment's not too big, it's not too small. This moment is what it is. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to execute and I'm going to have fun and I'm going to be joyful in the process and the outcome will be what it is.
Hmm.
But I'm going to work my hardest to make that outcome what I want it to be and which is a win.
Hmm.
And it's not just me, it's my teammates, it's everybody with me and just reframing it to be more of a positive excitement than a fear or doubt driven threat response.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think you could easily replay the last like 45 seconds of what Dylan just said
Yeah.
before each game, or find like just assess yourself real quick. Is it that you're nervous versus excitement? Is the moment too big or too small? And figure out what that like one or two phrase is for you that maybe you put up in your locker,
Yeah.
or you set a reminder on your phone before games so that you can see it, because I think to truly apply this, you need the reminder
Yeah.
and like the visual reminder. And so try to set yourself up for success in this new perspective and this new practice by putting it in a place where you're going to see it so that you don't default to what you have been doing.
Yeah. Stack the evidence. Stack the evidence. Like when I'm going into a talk or an interview, I prep. And I'm not afraid to say that. Like I prep relentlessly for a talk or an interview or a meeting so that I can give myself the sensory evidence that I am able to do this. Like I have the evidence, I have the practice, I have the reps. Cool. I'm capable. This moment's not too big, it's not too small. I'm here. The Lord's with me. I can do this.
Yeah.
Great. Now that nauseousness that I'm feeling turns to excitement. Might have to do some jumping jacks, might have to like walk around a little bit, but it's like these are exciting nerves, not I'm about to pass out and puke nerves.
Yeah. I used to do like push-ups or burpees before an event. Like, all right, it's go time. Let's go. Or jump like what's it called when you like jump high but you bring your knees up to your chest?
Tuck jump,
A tuck
yeah.
jump. Like for whatever reason that like gets me in like, all right, like it's go mode type
Yeah.
of thing. So find what works for you.
Yeah. And it's another strategy that could be in there too is just light doses of energy release throughout the day. Right? Like nothing that's going to take away from the performance, but if it's a game and it's the middle of the day, right? You're kind of just like waiting the whole day for this thing and you're trying to keep your excitement for game time, but you're like kind of feeling angsty. That can lead to the system going, why do I feel all this angst? I'm in a threat. Do a light mobility routine, go for a walk, like do something that's very light intensity activity, but expend some energy. It doesn't take away from the game, but allows you to do something so that you're not like pent up freaking out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think of like a Friday like in school for the kids like getting ready for Friday night football. Like you probably have so much energy you just want to like shoulder check your teammates into the lockers because
Yeah.
you have so much like pent up. Like there's other ways to get it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, do you have a hope story you'd like to share?
Oh, in the spirit of arousal reappraisal, I'm driving back home the other day and I go by this field. I look in this field and there's two horses and one donkey. And the horses are running and the donkey's right in between them,
Wow.
strutting, made for this moment. And the donkey has this like funny looking smile on its face, or at least in my brain, it had a funny looking smile on its face. But it was like running with these horses, and it just had that look of like, I belong.
Yeah, I'm part of
This
this.
is my moment. And I don't know if that donkey had nauseousness before going on this run, or for any moment thought the stage was too big for him. But he was running with these horses. And I'm driving by, and this is all in like a 10-second window. And I'm just like, you freaking go, donkey.
Yeah, let's go.
Like, you get after, you run with those horses. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it because you're a donkey. You go and do it. So there's probably something going on psychologically or internally with me that I needed to say that out loud for myself. But the donkey was there doing it, and it got me fired up.
Let's go. It counts. I hope that hope story brought our listeners some joy like it brought me joy.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's called a jacket or a coat that they wear, but it was like he was styling too.
Oh, had one of those like that's so funny.
Yeah, styling it, kind of little hair flipped up, smiling, running with the horses. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, people have the like in their living room, they have the painting with the classic like cow, like buffalo longhorn with like the hair coming down. I say let's make one with a donkey in between two horses.
All right.
Probably already exists,
I
but
don't know if it would match our house decor, but like we could try it.
Justin, thank you for submitting that question. Thank you for listening. Have a great week, and remember, high performance isn't just about using the strategy of hope, it's about becoming hope.
Thank you for listening to the Hope Not Nope podcast. Please subscribe and share this episode. This podcast is for educational and personal development purposes only and is not considered health or medical advice. For personalized support, connect with a Hope Coach at hopenotnope.org.